Well, hello, good evening, wherever you may be. Welcome to this live update. I've got Robert here with me. You right, Robert?
I'm doing great, Stephen. How are you?
Very well. Say hello, everyone. Paul Powers in the house. Hello, Paul. How are you doing?
Hey, Paul.
It's all very good. We got some good updates, and there was a little bit of sort of confusion with some bits and pieces, and we just really wanted to update anyone who got in on the Go Founders. Thank you for believing and trusting in us. These products are going to be amazing when we launch them in August, and anyone who got in on Go Founders will be the first to have access to the 5 sites that are all done for you. And we're going to, in a moment or two, Robert's going to explain everything everyone's going to be getting to make it very clear. There was a small issue with the email system that when people signed up, it didn't send out a confirmation email, and I'm getting that looked into why it didn't work. And so that's why we thought we'd go live tonight to give you an update of everything you guys are getting. Please like and share and comment. And if you're watching the replay, once again, just make sure you put a little comment in. Let us know how you're doing. We are going live in our main group, Lead Gen Magic, and also the DFY group, just to give people updates, because I know some people may watch this later on in the Lead Gen group. So let's come live onto here. Let me just get rid of this banner on here a minute, and we'll say hello in person. Good evening.
Hey, everybody. How are you?
I'm very good. Busy day I've had. How about you, Robert?
Yeah, it was an extremely busy weekend, and as these days are progressing, they go by so fast. But when you like what you're doing, you know, it's just so much more fun.
In a nutshell, Robert, because you'd explain this better than I could, right? In a nutshell, why did we create these?
You know, it's interesting. I had a fun conversation with a gentleman today that just reiterates the pain and the suffering that people go through trying to understand simple things that should be simple but aren't. And you just go through these things, and so many people are like me that they get stubborn and they just want to know how to do it themselves, and they're going to learn it, and they're going to learn it, and they're going to figure it out. And by the time they figure it out, they're so frustrated. They've spent a ton of money, and they still don't have a website built.
Yeah.
So, you know, again, where I came from was a year plus of frustration of trying to figure out something that I know works. That's the worst part, because I built one with a web developer. I built a multi-page website, and we did it the hard way, and it took us 8 months, but we did it, and it worked. And I know it can be done. And when you see the actual physical build of one of these websites, and you see it ranking and working, it's very exciting. So it's even more frustrating when you know it can be done, but you can't figure out how to get it done, because they're doing a system that is different than what you did before. But I'll tell you, when the Mass Page plugin goes to work, and you hit that go button, and it builds those pages, that's the real magic.
It will be, absolutely.
It's all that setup in front of it that is the frustration. So you go from product to product, training to training, you know, item to item, and you're still not there. And I think that people get so close to that pivotal point and they quit. I think it happens over and over again. So that's what made us. In fact, you know, let's just go back and show the transparency here. I needed help. I couldn't figure it out. I was at my last point of, you know what? I'm just not going to get it unless I get help. So
that's why you reached out to me.
We hooked up. You started mentoring me. It was worth every penny that I paid. And I got to see why it was so frustrating. And I understand that people may never figure it out on their own unless somebody shows them. And I keep saying it. You don't know what you don't know. And when people show you the system and what it can do and how you get there to do it, then it makes sense. That's what you call the light bulb moment, or the penny drops, or whatever the phrase is. So all of this only matters to the people that want to understand, the analogy of building an engine, every nut and bolt, versus just driving a car.
Yeah.
And that's what's going to happen here is you're going to buy the car, which is the Done For You website. And you don't need to know how it's running until you want to understand all the inner workings later on and be able to make those changes. These sites are designed to be built as fast as possible, so you have an up and working full website. And I just saw a couple people saying they'd never built a website before in the Facebook group, and I think that's perfect. You're the ideal person for this. Not only that you are going to learn how to build a WordPress site, because Stephen knows how passionate I am about this. I do not want anyone to wonder what are the first steps it takes to get a website built online.
And do you know something, Robert? The chap that we're talking about who reached out to us, do you know the one word that came up? Overwhelmed. I feel overwhelmed. And with all the products that are there, and they are amazing products, what Mike Martin does, what Daryl does, what we are doing, everything. I've always said I'm sort of the glue between the products and making them work for people. And I did all the Lead Simplify training, and I've had great feedback from people saying how easy it was to follow. I've had someone who reached out to me and went, I bought it on the Done For Yous, but I'm worried about being able to get clients. And I said, if you use the Lead Simplify system and auto prospecting, you'll be able to just very simply call them back afterwards and go, how did it go? Let me give you some more free leads. It's a very simple process in doing it. And so, the people who've gotten on Go Founders, I'll tell you now, right, the training alone with what we're going to be giving you is going to be worth that money that you paid to get in on alone, just without the sites. Everybody there's no magic push button to make money in life. You have to work hard at a business. You have to build it up. You have to ring people up to say, do you want to come on board and make money? There's not an easy way of doing it, right? But we have found processes, myself and Robert have found processes to speed up things for you. So if you take your time with this and follow the training, when we Robert will make this announcement in a moment. When we do the training each week, we're going to do step-by-step training, and it's going to build you up to the point that if you follow us gradually over a period of a month, but within that time you have a site built, right? You better start doing more work on it. You better copy that site and rinse and repeat it. You better build it out. But I'm going to let Robert talk now to you guys about what you're going to exactly get. All right. We talked about when we did the webinar the other night, and by the way, Robert, someone didn't buy. So there's one slot left. Someone didn't buy. And I don't know whether they hit the wrong button by mistake or what. But I know that the checkout had a lot of views. And I went in today and looked, and there is one gap available. So if someone wants to, I'm not going to put the URL up tonight. We're not here to pitch anything to you. But if you want to reach out to myself or Robert, we'll make sure you get the link to it, go in and get that last one if you really want it. We're not worried either way, because the more people we have on board, the more time that we're going to focus on you guys. So if there's only 14 in the group, that's great, because we can focus on 14 people.
No, actually, that's the way I would prefer it. I prefer less.
Yeah.
But I just saw that Paul had asked a question about, are we going to do the training on the nuts and bolts? Yes, but it's not the main concern, because let me say it to you this way: when you're in the dashboard and you have a brand new MPP plugin that you're looking at their dashboard, there's nothing in there. So you start with a blank slate. And you have to figure that out. That's the hard part. When you have a Done For You site, all of that dashboard has been filled in for you. and you go in and edit the basic informations in that dashboard, like the phone number and the company name, or so on and so forth. So you're able to see what the nuts and bolts really are. That shortens your learning curve of the dashboard on the back end, but it's already been done for you. But again, we can't give you a website with your phone number and your company name and your database location, your cities. That's kind of your end of the deal, because we're going to help you get it built, but you have to have those things in your website that makes it different than the site that you get, preloaded.
I'd like to ask a quick question there, Robert, for people, right? And we got a fair few people watching on different platforms. Just out of interest, right? Put one in the chat if you do not know what an Xfield is, or SpinTech short code, right? But 2 in the chat if you do know, right? It's just out of interest, and I'm just looking down now. I tell you, we get an awful lot of ones of people not knowing what an Xfield is straight away. So that's it. It's interesting, that you go off and look for all the training that's available. What we're going to be doing is we're going to have the inner circle mentoring group that you guys have got in for the Go founders, right? And you got lifetime on that. Right? When we launch, it's going to be $67 a month just to get into that alone. In fact, I think that's the launch price.
Yeah, that's going to be the special launch price,
right? When we launch, and then it's going to go up to $97 a month after that. So I'm always end up quoting the cheaper prices, because it's going to be the first launch we do, major webinar where we go through all of this. And so each week we're going to go live. We're going to give you the training, and it's going to be, some people who'll be in the group, they'll say, "Well, you teaching me to suck eggs?" No, well, we're going to teach everyone at the same pace. So it'll be week 1 will be like, buy a domain name, set it up, connect it to hosting, set WordPress up, right? And then if we've got time, install the theme as well. If we run out of time, then the next week we do the full theme install, and we set all that up for you. And then the next week we show you how to continue adding to it. How to build citations up. There's a big wide area, and so over the coming weeks, once we launch in August, the very first training session we do, and all the people who've got in on the Go Funds will be invited into the mentoring group, and you guys, along with anyone who buys on the first webinar, we'll have that full training, a step by step. And what we plan on doing, we're gonna go live with the training. And then we're gonna have a break. So we're gonna go live maybe half an hour, 45 minutes, depending on how long that first lot of training is. And then we're just gonna say to you guys, right, we're gonna take a break, go and get a coffee, and we'll be back on live at the top of the hour. So let's say we're aiming to go live in the evenings. Most people who I talk to seem to feel maybe 5-6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, which is 10 or 11 o'clock at night GMT time. We're trying to look at this, you see, and in a way that we can fit everyone in, accommodate everyone. Now, if you find the first lot that we run with, the times aren't great, let us know, because we're going to be bringing more people in again. And when we do that, we're going to there's going to be more than one group. There's going to be the standard group to get people started. And once you follow the training in there, then anyone who's got in on the Go Founders will get upgraded. All right. If you're paying monthly, you'll get upgraded to the advanced group, which then we can teach you separately all the advanced stuff. Because what we don't want to be doing is each month going back through the same stuff again on new people coming in. So we have to do it in a way where we bring everyone in, everyone follows on the first month, and within 4 weeks, you have a site set up, ready to roll with all the content, and then you can move on to the next group up. So we can move you out of that group into the next group, and then we bring new people into the starters group. All right. So, it's gonna keep happening. Clint has asked a question. So is this paid training for everyone or anyone who wants to come in on the training and pay for it, right? We'll welcome you in, right? It will be available, but you've got to understand that
Yeah, but wait a minute. Let's just be transparent here. That training is based on using the Done For You Magic websites. So it's something that you got to have that whole package together for it to work for you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and that's exactly it. Why would you pay $67 or $97 a month if you don't have any of the Done For You sites? Because that's what you're going to be following in the first month. And once everyone's gone through that, and we only want people on board who are going to follow this. That's the key to this, because otherwise, what's the point of setting up a business if you're not going to take action?
Right.
You know, what annoys me the most in the iron world is you get all these emails, and guys, put one in the chat if you agree with me on this. You get all these emails coming for all the time of the next best product, right? And you can make millions of pounds, but a push of a button. But when you go and spend all that money, do you make any money? No, because the product doesn't last very long. We're here for a long time. That's why we're going to do the Inner Circle Mentoring Group, where we can bring people in. We can do, half an hour, 45 minutes of training, take a break, go have a coffee, see your family for 15, 20 minutes. And then in the next hour, we go live to answer your questions. And the reason we're doing that is when we plan to do the advanced group as well, right? We can do the advanced questions on the same evening. So we can go live in both the groups to help everybody on different levels to answer questions. But ultimately, we just want you guys to be able to follow this training in the mentoring group from start to finish. So at the end of it, you guys can turn around and go, you know what, I've got Magic Page plugin, you know. And one thing I asked earlier on, you know, do you know what Nextfield is? And Lynn straight away went, I don't know what Nextfield is. Right. Well,
I think Lynn also answered in the Facebook group that she'd never built a website. So of course, you know, at this point, she's not going to know what an Nextfield is. But I think that's perfect. I think Lynn is in the absolute best place she can be, and as long as she's got the package and she's in the co-founders training, she's all set, because we're going to take her from buying a domain name. We don't know. I don't know what Lynn has done or hasn't done, but and I'm not picking on Lynn. I just know that's the comment that she made, and I think it's wonderful because I know she's in the right place. We're going to go from ground zero, buy a domain name, tell her where she can buy one. You know, the importance of the domain name itself is that's the only place or piece of digital real estate that you can actually own. When you have a domain name, that's your digital asset, as long as you keep the renewal up. So that whether you buy it at $8.88 a year or $12 a year, whatever platform you went to buy it, that's yours. And when you build that thing up and that asset becomes worth, you know, a value, you can always sell it if you wanted to. But in reality, if you're going into lead generation, the leads coming off of it are going to be the value.
Yeah.
So we're gonna show you, and we're gonna help you. I think, you know, in full transparency, there's going to be hand holding if necessary to get you to understand what has to be done. I can't make anybody get up in the morning and brush their teeth and get dressed, but I can tell you, if they show up and they want to do this, we're going to help them get to whatever obstacles come in their path that are related to getting that website built. We're going to get them there. That's
and the videos we do live, Robert, will stay live. We're going to transfer them over to a training platform where you guys will be able to have access to them, so that you can remind yourself what they'll still be in Facebook. And then when we get to a point, we want everyone to be at the same point. So in August, you know, at the end of the month, we want to make sure that everyone's got a site built, everyone's got everything set up, ready to move to the next stage. And we want you to, you know, we're going to be asking you guys, by the way, to prove to us that you are set up. All right. Any information that we receive from you directly will be kept confident. It will not be shared. We don't do that. We want you guys to succeed. At the end of this, we want you guys to be doing us testimonials to say, wow, 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 this is the first time I've ever been able to build a website, or I've been able to set this up. I've been able to set it up to a point now where I can start generating leads if you want to go down that route, or renting the site out to a local business. And, those are the two models that I love the most, is renting a site out to a local business. So I own the site, they're renting it. If they stop paying me, I keep the site. Bye-bye. I'll rent it to someone else. Or the lead, which you make even more money with, where you sell a lead 3 times over. And let's say Home Advisor or Checker Trade in the UK, one of those businesses charges, let's say $100 a lead, right? Which they do charge a lot of money. You can go in at half that and beat it maybe by a bit more to some local businesses, and they'll be going, wow, and so they end up buying credits off you all the time, you see. So it's it's how it is with what we are doing for you. We're going to hold your hand, and we're going to show you from start through to finish how to do this.
That's really the key. The done for you whole concept is built on taking people out of the frustration level of trying to learn something they want to do, but they just can't get the right information at the right time, is all I'm going to say. There's more tools, more training, and advanced tactics than there are the basic steps of getting started.
Yeah.
Is that a fair statement, Stephen?
That is. And I will say again to guys, if there's anyone watching this or the replay, if you didn't get in on Go Founders, right, I did, and I'll stick to this. There is one slot still available, and I'm happy if someone reaches out to me directly, pin a message in the group with name on it saying, or send me a private message on Messenger, and I'll be happy to let that one slot go. It's the price has gone up to 1495 because that's what we said we'd do on the webinar, and officially the lifetime deal for getting in on the training on the Inner Circle mentoring group, that should have ended as well. But I'll be fair on the 15th one and keep that in as well. So you'll get what we were saying. And we're not worried either way if that sells or not, because we know when we open this up onto the market and we do a webinar with Mike Martin and a few other people, that this is such a good model now from start to finish, that at the end of our training you're going to have yourself a site. And if you this is my word to you guys, if we get to the end of that month and you've done everything we've asked you to do and something's still not right, I will jump on a live call with you. Right, out of the 15 Go Founders, I will jump on a call with you personally, right? And I charge $150 per hour or $500 a month for one-on-one mentoring, right? So I'll jump on a call with you and say, what's the issue? Let's help you. Let's get you there. Because everyone learns on different levels. People. As I said, someone said they were overwhelmed. I spoke to a lady last year. It was coming up to Christmas, right? And she'd bought in on Magic Page plugin and Lead Simplify, and she bought in on the Themes Club, which I run. And she messaged me and she said, I'm really sorry, I need to ask for a refund. And I said, hop on a call with me and let's see if I can help you. And she was honest with me. She said, look, right now it's not good for me because I'm about to lose my house. We're really struggling, and I bought in on a webinar, thinking that I could make a business out of this. I took one look and I feel I can't cope with it. So I gave her a refund without arguing, and I said to her, look, when you're in a better place, reach out to me. We'll try and sort something out for you. Now, if she'd seen this back then, I think she could have had a business built easily, a site built and ready to roll within a month, taking her time. And yes, we show you how to build a site in 15 minutes, but there's a lot more to it as well. The building of it is 15 minutes, but there's citations, there's other stuff involved with this. There's adding blog posts, there's loads of stuff involved, and we don't want you to be overwhelmed, which is why we week one will be get a domain name, set up the hosting. Then if we got time, we'll do the install of the site. If not, the following week we do the install of the site. Right. Well, and the following week we show you how to do something else. And at the end of it, you'll have a site that's ready to roll, that's out there, that you can then start generating leads or renting that site out. And then after that, you can rinse and repeat.
Right. And it's the bite-sized pieces or the bite-sized steps sometimes. But we want to make this interactive, that we want to hear from you. We want to know where you got stuck or didn't get stuck, so that we can continue forward. And we're going to work on that. And it's going to be a relatively pretty small group. So I think it's going to be a complete success for everybody. That's my full intention. Like I said, I can't make you get up and get dressed in the morning. But if you show up and you want to get this done, we're going to get it done. And that's where Steven and I are coming from with this, because we understand the frustrations. So it's just a matter of the little bit of time and commitment. But reaching out and being interactive is important. If you guys get into this and you just never communicate, we don't know what's not working for you. But that'll be a separate training in that actual group when we get there. But for now, this is where we're coming from, so you guys understand. So I think, Steven, that the I don't want to call it the Go Founders, but I think that the training itself will be available until we go into the next webinar. So if anybody can pick up the package and get into this, we'll include that. I don't know if you want to call it lifetime or you want to call it whatever, but the training alone, if you look at any training program where you have any kind of mentoring, I won't get into numbers, but by the time I paid Steven for all my mentoring, I could have had quite a few sites put together through this system, if this system was available at that time.
When you started in this, Robert, right? How long was it before you finally reached out to me and said help? How long have you been trying to do this for before you reached out and went help?
I think it was over like 10 or 12 months.
And it's hard, isn't it? I know, that you came to me and said, I really could, need some help. And I did a free consultation call with you, and we talked about your business and where you want to start and where you want to be and what your goals are. Right. And one thing that you kept on coming back to me at was, all I want is to be able to just use the stuff I've bought in when I was on the webinars, and I just want to be able to use it and build it and get it going. That's all you said to me, and I felt your pain. And I mean, I did it the hard way when I started. When I started doing lead generation, I built a site manually from the ground up in HTML, not WordPress, right? So you had to learn coding. Then when you built your site and made it look great, then you had to go out manually and phone people up and get them on board. And then when you've done that, you set a phone number up that can only ring one client, because back then you didn't have the technology to ring round 3, 4, or 10 clients. Then every lead that came in, I'd have to manually choose who's getting that lead, phone them up and go, I've got a lead for you. Would you like to buy it? Yeah, right. You pay me. Here's your lead. It was a nightmare. And now with all the systems in place, they can be automated. So you set up a site and you're done. And your only involvement then, I mean, if you do the auto prospecting, it rings out some leads to the customers, the lead buyers. You call them back to see how it went. They virtually sell themselves. It's really it will get easy. And in fact, I've said to Robert, we're going to build a site from scratch as well, right? In the process. And here in the UK, I'm going to set a site up. It's probably going to be gardening, and I'm going to, because of the time differences, I'm going to record some calls when I call clients. Now, for legal purposes, I've got to cut out the company name and bits like that. I can't share their data without their permission. If they say it's okay, then I will. All right. But basically, you'll hear the majority of the conversation, apart from knowing who they are. And they'll be genuine businesses, and you'll see me talk to them and get them and onboard them buying leads. And we're gonna set a site up from scratch that I'm going to share with you freely. Now, I know, right, one thing that can happen, it has happened to Mike and the guys, where they've set a site up and shared it, and then people have gone out and on purpose aimed bad traffic at it to damage it. Right now, I'm not worried about that because I have other sites in that niche that I'm able to drive traffic to. So if that domain name gets damaged, so what? I'm not worried. It's there for training purposes. But I would like to think that all the people in the group want this site to succeed, so you can see how easy it is to generate leads. So in a few, and I'll be realistic. When you first set a site up, it can be 3-4 months before leads come in. It may be 2 weeks. Google's an unknown entity. But the thing is the moment leads start coming, I'll share it. And I'll say, look at this, we got leads coming in. And the other difference for the first site we're doing, I want to make it organic. So what I mean by that is I'm not going to pay for Google ads or Facebook ads. I want to run a test, right, on the site here in the UK to see if I can generate leads organically and locally without any advertising. Because one thing I get asked time and time again is, I bought into this, I haven't got very much money, I'm running out of money, I need to make money, right? And I say, well, pay for advertising to make money. And it comes back and say, yeah, but you don't get it. I've just spent X amount already on this webinar, and I bought into this product, and I need to make money. I haven't got any. My credit card's to the brim, So that's why we're going to do it organically. Because if we grow and we see you grow with your sites as well, I think that's going to be the super thing about what we're going to be doing, holding you by the hand. And seriously, guys, the Go founders who bought in on that webinar that night, you got a bargain, because if you were to book me $500 a month, and that's for a 1 hour call each week, that's what you get, and messaging me personally in Messenger to say, what do you recommend this? I do jump on some sites occasionally to help people out as well. Lynn, I just want to ask Lynn a quick question if she's still in the group, because I haven't had a chance to look at the full list. Did you get in on Go Founders, Lynn? I assume by your smiley face that you put up on the screen that you probably are in on Go Founders. And seriously, if you are, you're not going to get that deal again. And I did say on the live that when we release the next set of 5, yes, you did, great. That you're going to get, when we do the next 5, you're going to be able to buy them at the 1295. Anyone who got in on Go Founders, we're going to do the next 5 at 1295, and we'll send out an email when they're ready. And by then, you see, you would be in a position where you have a site set up and running, and then we'll show you how to push traffic at it, and organic traffic, and start building this up and getting leads in. You think if you can get a couple of leads a week, and it doesn't sound a lot, right? And let's just say you're charging, let's be conservative, say $25 a lead in a niche, right? And you sell that 3 times, that's $75, right? Let's say you got 2 leads a week coming in, and we'll round up to $100, just make the maths easy, right? So you're making $100 per lead, that's $200 per week, right? So it's straight away nice money coming in to start getting yourself support. That's $800 a month coming in now out of $2 leads per week, and then you keep building up, and that $800 then doubles, and then it trebles, and then and it's that light bulb moment where you go, actually, yeah, from very few leads, I'm making some money, and then you copy that site and move it to a different location and do it again. And the next minute, those two leads that then became 4 because you got 2 sites up. Then you put a 3rd site up, that's 6 leads. Next minute, you got 10 leads, and it all adds up, And yes, it may take you 3, 6 months, a year, maybe to get to that point, right? But you will get there. I know you will, because I've done it already, and I did it the hard way before I had Magic Page plugin, before I had Lead Simplify. I did it the hard way.
What you're not saying there, Stephen, and these guys haven't even built websites yet. So they don't understand the pain of what it really
is painful. I know you've gone through this.
But beyond that, Magic Page has just reached a new level plateau that has never been seen before. And I think, personally, there's, depending on the niche and the way that these have already been set up, that there's no way you can't have traffic very quickly once the site is indexed. But it's important that it's built right. It's not thrown up with 500 pages overnight. And that's what we're going to go through so that you don't fall into the Google sandbox trap. And what I'm trying to say to you is right now, the MPP 6.2 version and higher, I don't know, they're probably 6.3 now, have now included physical pages and the sitemap. So now Google is going to have actually whatever the site is built to, we're going to say 250 pages is our norm because that's going to keep you out of trouble. But when you have a site about a niche, so Stephen had talked about gardening or lawn and care or whatever the niche is, when you have a site built with 250 localized pages, that's huge. We already know the sites are starting with, a minimum 6,000 words of content based on that niche. And now you're adding 250 magic pages with that same content again on every city in that area.
But that content is all spun and unique.
I just can't see this not being.
Robert, when I started with Magic Page, right, it used to create what's called dynamic pages, and what that means is it's like they're not there, and they get generated when someone visits the URL, right, and it's done on what's called on the fly. So basically, it's a bit like you're going to my URL, and your local location is London, let's say, or New York, right? So you go to mysite.com/New York, and instantly the software went, oh, there's someone coming on the New York URL, build it, but New York in there, right? With the new ones, physical pages, Google loves physical pages. And so when you got a physical page, it gets added to what's called a sitemap. Google looks at that sitemap to know what pages you've got, and then they get indexed. And so you imagine that's why we say you only need to initially build a 250-page website. As time goes on, you'll be adding more pages to it. But imagine with all of this, when you set this up, you got to build it like it's a real business. If you're doing lead generation, so you got to pretend you are that gardener or plumber or electrician, right? And that you're building up as if you would be the person going out and doing the work. But the difference is the calls come in and they get routed to local electricians or plumbers, and so they then buy the leads from you. So that's one way of doing it. Or like I said, you set a site up in a location and you rent that site out, and then you pick a location further away and you clone it over, change it, the business information for the new business, and zap that out. And we're going to go through all of that with you guys.
Yes, but I was just saying that because the understanding of where we are right now with MPP, these results haven't even been, I'm going to say, realized yet, because the sites are just being built with the physical pages.
I used to build sites out manually, location-based pages manually, right? And I used to say, right, I'm going to pick 50 locations, and this is before Magic Page. Before I had Magic Page plugin, and I'd build a page for each location manually, and it was painful, right? You build your first site, then you got to change the content on the next page, make it look different, and change a few bits and pieces, and that was that used to take me about maybe a month and a half to build a 50-page site out properly. Now you build one page and it generates 250 pages. If I'd had this when I started, I'd be a millionaire by now.
It's a game changer, and I think we're just in uncharted water when we're talking about this.
And that's why I'm keen to set up a site from scratch with a domain name and show people the domain name, show what we're doing, building it up. And anyone who can't get on the lives, the training will still be in Facebook, and we'll be adding it to a training area as well, which everyone will have access to. And all we ask, we're going to go for some training on week 1. And by the time we get to week 2, all we ask you to do is come on and confirm that you've done the training from week 1. And if you get stuck, go back and look at it, follow it, right? And keep watching until you've done the first bit. And then when we get to week 2, we're going to say to people, right, everyone in the group, can you please, pop a comment under a video. We'll do a video up there to say, please put a comment to confirm that you have done everything from week 1. Because it's the way we're going to show you. It's going to be super easy. I always say the word KISS. Keep it super simple. And that's what we're going to be doing for you guys, keeping it super simple. You know, because we want you to succeed. We want testimonials at the end of this where you're going to be going, we followed Robert and Steve, and you know, and when I got a little bit overwhelmed and confused with a little bit of the training, I put a comment up, and Steve or Robert went, oh, hang on a minute, let's rewind a little bit, let's show you that bit, let's help you. You know, and that's where we want you guys to be. And so, you know, well done to all the people who got in on there. If you are, I know Lynn is. If anyone else got in on the Go Founders, just put one in the chat so I know you got in. If you sat on the fence, right, and I know I had a message from somebody who is sat on the fence, I've offered to jump on a call with them, and maybe at the end of tonight that last slot will be gone, because I've said after this I'm going to hop on a call with them, have a chat, you know. And so it's, you know, I understand people can get overwhelmed and they're worried about spending. You know, $1,495 now, it could be a lot of money to you, but the thing is invest in yourself and your business, and we will help you all the way along the line to get to where you need to be.
Well, I'm going to say to you, Stephen, that I've been through quite a few different mentoring scenarios in my lifetime. And, you know, $3,000 to $5,000 in a mentoring arrangement is a drop in the bucket. So when you look at that price of $1,500 and you have training with it already to make sure that you get this done. I mean, the idea here is to have a business up and running as soon as possible and not spending months or years trying to figure out how to make it work. If you know it's what you want to do, then you just set that goal and you go from point A to point B as fast as you possibly can to make it work. Somebody's asking.
I'm not sure who it is because you didn't approve StreamYard, but in a nutshell, right, what we did, we did a Go Founders deal, right? And what that meant was it's an early bird deal for anybody who wanted to come on board, okay? And what we did for people is we said you're going to get 5 done for you sites. It's all the content, magic page built for you, SEO, schema, the lot. And the 5 niches are electrician, gardener, painter, pest control, and web designer. All right. And I don't want you, when those that are bought in, I don't want you to just, when you get access to these, to build all 5 in one hit. We want you to build one. Get used to building that one, get it set up, and then you can spread like a wave with that one into other locations. Then pick the next one, set that up, pick the next one, set that up, and so on. Or you may only want to pick one of them that you like the idea of, and that's fine. We did 5 in a deal so that you have a choice, right? So within the Go Founders deal, you got all those 5 sites with content. The only extra thing you need to buy is Magic Page plugin. And there's, when we launch, those that don't have it, there's a special deal coming up that I managed to twist Mike's arm for. I can't announce it yet, but when we launch, anyone who's got Go Founders will get an email, and there'll be a link to the checkout and you'll be given your own personal coupon code. That's why we've only done 15 of them. So you'll be able to go into the checkout, enter the coupon code, which will zero the checkout and give you instant access to the whole system. All right. But we only want to do 15 because imagine if I'd done 30 of them, it'd take me forever to do your coupon codes individually for all of you. So we will make sure you guys will get that notification direct from me. I'll email you personally saying, here's the link, here's your coupon code, go and sign up, and it'll give you full access to the system. So in with a deal as well, Facebook user, we also included the Inner Circle Mentoring Group. And what that is the full training. So when we launch each week, we're going to move anyone who's got in on this will be put into the Inner Circle Mentoring Facebook group. And once a week, we're going to go live with training. and we're going to hold you by the hand from setting up a domain name, setting up your hosting, installing Magic Page plugin, adding one of the themes that you want to do. All those things will be covered. How to do citations, I'm not going to explain now, but that's all part of it. How to get decent backlinks to your site without damaging your site. How to then make sure it's all ready and optimized for Google. Make sure that there's loads to this, right? But within a month, you'll have most of the things done over those weeks, majority of the stuff, to the point then that you could sit that site there and wait for it to start ranking. But while you're waiting, then you go off and build another one. And then you build another one, and you build another one. And you get to a point where you'll find out, let's say you built 10 sites. So we do the training, and the following month, you go off and build 10 more of the same site. And it's very quick and easy when we show you. Right? And out of those 10 sites, let's say 4 of them rank, and they start generating you leads. That's where we want to get you to. And we want to help you build your business. So that's what the deal is. If you missed out on it, there is one space available. Reach out to me directly in a personal message on Facebook, Stephen Brocklehurst. Or if you can't find me on Facebook, pin me in a message in one of the groups, and I'll personally send you a message back. And there's one slot available. I'm talking to someone. When we finish this in a few minutes, I'm going on a call with somebody who might be the person who will get in on that slot. He was sat on the fence, and I said, well, look, I'll do a call with you and have a chat about your business and where you're at, a free call. And I'm always happy to do that. And if it's not for him, I'm not going to do the hard sell, because we've got the people in who are already in. 14 of you are already in, and we're happy with that. When we launch this and we do the first big webinar, and we show what this product, we show the install and everything we did on the Go Founders Webby. That'll be the point then when we're going to be bringing a lot more people into the group to learn the training, which is why Matt, having a whole load of people in there. Plus, we know people can help people.
Yeah, absolutely.
So person A will learn differently to person B. I'm dyslexic. I've throughout my life struggled here and there on stuff, and so I know that pain of I learn slower than other people, but I do get there. And when I understand it, I like to put it in a way that other people can understand. And it may be that person, like Paul might go in the group, oh, great training on let's say Sunday night, but I got stuck on this bit. And then maybe Clint might go, oh, yeah, I did that. You do this, this, and this. So we're all there to grow together and build this up, but each week we will show you that training. And then when you're ready and we feel you're all at the same level, we're then going to move you all up to another group, which will be the advanced group of going into more detail, which then frees up the first group for newbies coming in, because we don't want to go over the same thing again and again with you. What's the point of me of month 1 with you? We go through how to buy a domain name, and then month 2 we show you again how to buy a domain name. You don't want to see that. So we're going to then set that group up for new people coming in, and then you guys will be in an advanced group where we can do all the advanced stuff. And then when they're ready, they move up as well. And that's our plan with this is to walk you through. And when we go live, you can come on and ask questions. Say, I've done this and this isn't working quite right, or that's working brilliantly. And we want to get your feedback, because we want to know that you guys are going to be at a point where you're 100% fine and that you built a business.
In addition to what Stephen just said, when you have a question and you're in the group, and we know sometimes you feel like you want to have a personal question answered, and personal things are different than the information about website building. So a personal question, okay, we're not going to put in the group, but a question based on what you need to do to get to your next level, we want put in the group, because if you're having that question, 2 or 3 other people might be having the same question. So we want to be efficient, answer your question, and answer that question in advance for the next 3 people that are going to ask the same question. So it's important that we use the group in that fashion so that we advance everybody, because that's the ultimate goal here, to get your sites up and running as fast as possible so that you're in business. Because without a website and without it working, you're under construction. You're not in business.
Yeah. So we're just going to give, if there's any questions for everyone who's watching across the channels we're on, pop them in the chat now. We'll just give you a moment or two to pop them in, and then we'll sign off for tonight, because I've got to prepare for Sunday night where we've got Chris Palmer coming on, and that's going to be in all our groups with myself, Darren, and Simon. And Chris Palmer does on YouTube SEO stuff. His knowledge is absolutely amazing, so we're very privileged to have him on the live Sunday night. That's 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 10 p.m. UK time. So that's going to be an awesome video to watch with Chris Palmer. So watch out for that. We'll be showing that. And just a final point. Well, if we'll just see if there are any questions going to come in. Just to say, if you have missed out on the Go Founders, reach out to me. If they've gone, once the last one's gone, that is it. And then you'll have to wait for the webinar, and the webinar is going to be probably the cheapest. I think is going to, Mike's been twisting my arm, it's probably going to be 1495 just for the 5 sites, and then it'll be there'll be a deal for the training, but it'll either be a yearly deal or it certainly won't be any more than 12 months, access to it. So unless you want to renew each year. So yeah. But thank you to everyone who came on board. We are overwhelmed by the love and response we've had from all of you guys, and thank you for understanding that you get access to this in August. And thank you for believing in us. And
there's no question where we're coming from, Stephen, that they are going to get these things, the sites built. We're going to get them done. I mean, it's just what has to happen. But we need your cooperation and participation to do that, and that's where everybody is going to succeed.
Yeah.
So I appreciate all of you for the support, and like Stephen said, we're overwhelmed with just feeling the joy of your trust.
And Paul, what we're going to do when we launch the official Inner Circle Mentoring Facebook group, and everyone's invited into it that bought in, there's a couple of days in mind, because of my schedule and Robert's schedule. We're possibly looking at a Tuesday evening, 5 or 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which would be 10 or 11 p.m. UK time, or a Saturday night at the same time. Is what we were going to be looking at initially, and then we'll see how that runs. But we're going to put a poll up to just see what works well for people. We've got people all around the world, and we understand as well. I know somebody who bought in is down in Australia, and so anytime we go live would be like the middle of the night for them. And so I said to him, all we ask is for you to watch back on the training once we've done it, and if you've got any questions, you can then pin it below the video, and we'll do a live update answering those questions as well to help them. So whilst we want you to be committed, we understand you have other commitments. You have family life, you have other, maybe you're in a part-time job or a full-time job, and you're building this on the side to give up that job. So we understand that. And so whilst we may be doing the lives at times that you may not be available, when we do the Q&A sections, we have a break and we come back live again, and we do a half-an-hour Q&A. If you weren't able to make that Q&A, you can put questions under there, and then the following week when we go live, we'll answer those questions for you, or we may send you a message direct, or we may respond in the group. But we will make sure that everybody, as we go along, ends up being at the same place doing this, and that's what's really important. We don't want you feeling overwhelmed. When we start the training in August, if you do feel overwhelmed, I want those people who feel overwhelmed to come and tell me or Robert, and then we can work out why and a way forward for you to make sure you don't feel overwhelmed. But I'm telling you now, the step-by-step training will help you. So we have said this before. Week 1, it'll be set up a domain name and your hosting, install WordPress. Right, and then if we've got time, after we've gone through that, if we've got time, then we'd like to get Magic Page plugin installed and the theme on week 1. We'd like to try and do that, but it depends how quickly the time goes, because we're only keeping the training no more than an hour, because we understand everyone's got lives, and that's why when we did the webinar, and those that were on it live, just out of interest, pop one in the chat for me if you felt for once it was a webinar that was far better, because we went through. We didn't do all the fluff of all, talking about big cars and all the money we got in the bank and all that stuff. We literally got into the training, and then we gave you the offer. And I looked at the timings. We spent probably about 6-7 minutes saying hello to people, right? And then half an hour was the run through roughly of showing you what we were offering you. And Lynn says one. Fantastic. And I'm getting loads of ones from various people across the group. Steve has put one in. So, the thing is it annoys me, these webinars, that they go on and on and on and on. I was on one the other night, hour and 20 minutes before the offer came up. And I'm thinking, I've got a life. I don't want to be sat on a webinar for an hour and 20 minutes, of which probably 15, 20 minutes was a guy talking about his speedboat and his car and his wonderful house. I'm thinking, if you're that rich, why aren't you on if I was a multimillionaire, I wouldn't be doing webinars or training. I'd be on a beach enjoying myself. Do you know what I mean? And it just frustrates me. I'm comfortable. All right. I'm not making millions, but I make a nice amount per year that supports myself and my family, and I'm grateful for the money I receive. All right. And I am, COVID hit me hard. I've said this on many a live before. I went into the entertainment niche. So I had children's entertainers, face painters, DJs, all that sort of area, right? Wedding DJs. And suddenly it all crashed, and I lost my income overnight. I had people renting sites, I had people buying leads, and it's looking like in the UK that realistically it's not going to pick up till next year. When it does, all that money will come back. And I was really comfortable, and I wasn't sharing it with anybody. Then it crashed, and I went, well, I've got to do something. Well, lucky enough, my partner's business in children's clothing on eBay took off like mad. So I worked for her for a while. And I went...
Steve, can I interrupt you for a second?
I was just going to say this last bit, that I felt I was a fool, putting all my eggs in one basket. And this is what we're going to show you as well. I'm going to show you my pitfalls. And at the end of this, right, you'll have more than one niche. And since COVID, I've been rebuilding up other industries, and I've been doing well at it. And I'm back financially to be comfortable again. I'm happy. You going to say, Robert?
You don't have to answer this question, but I was just going to put you on the spot and say, in your entertainment niche, I'm sure you had more than one multi-location website.
Oh, yes.
Is there an approximate value per month of what you made on an average of one of those?
Let me. Now you put me on the spot.
I know I put you on the spot, and it's a personal thing.
Well, bear with me. I'd built it up to $8,500 a month at that point. What I did wrong, right? When I first joined Magic Page Plugin, I didn't believe in myself. I didn't believe I could do it. Right? I spent the first year and a half of I got in early with Magic Page Plugin, right? And I spent the first year and a half just not taking it seriously, messing around, doing other internet marketing projects, losing money because I'm spending it. And finally, I said to myself, I've got to focus on one thing, not multiple things. So I cancelled all my other subscriptions apart from Magic Page Plugin and my hosting and other bits and pieces like that. Hi, Don. And I took the decision to focus on lead generation and renting websites, right? And this was like probably a year and a half. Oh, well, actually, it'd be more than that. It was a year and a half before COVID when I took it seriously. And I built it up, $8,500 a month, maybe more. I have to look back on the bank statements. And I was going, wow, this works. This works. And I was doing organic sites. I wasn't doing anything special. I wasn't spending money on advertising at the time. and I built enough sites up just to pull in leads. I was charging $10 a lead. Well, it's £10 a lead, which is probably about $15 a lead. But I was selling the leads 3 times each time, and the entertainers, face painters, DJs, they were paying it, without a problem. They'll come back and read, but I was doing it manually until Lead Simplify came along, and then boom, it exploded because Lead Simplify automated the whole lot for me. That was the missing link, and I was so grateful that Martin Johnson and Mike Martin brought that product out, because it saved me time. But the thing is, again, do you know why I did the training for Mike? Because people kept messaging Mike saying, we're getting confused. Mike saw some of my training. He loved it. I spent a few weeks doing the training to keep it simple. And people have been able to set it up because of the training I've done. And I don't want to come over big-headed. I stutter a lot. I fidget because I've got fibromyalgia. But the reason I do what I do, because I'm passionate to help people now. I want people not to feel the pain I've been through, the pain that you've been through, Robert, the pain of other people I'm currently mentoring.
It's a recurring theme. It's just recurring over and over and over again. It's information overload. It's the frustration of why is this so hard?
Yeah.
I'm not an idiot. I should be able to get this.
And the thing is there's going to be lots of light bulb moments. And all I ask people as we do the training, when the light bulb goes off in your head and you go, oh, I get it, just type in the chat for us, light bulb. All right? I'm going to have to remind people to do it. I just want, or light bulb moment or something along those lines as we do the training where you go, wow, because within weeks, you're going to have a site built and set up. And then you'll be in a position where you can add more content, and even to the point in the future where you'll be able to schedule the content using the various tools that are also available between Daryl and Mike. And it's just going to get better and better and better. It really is. And I want you guys to succeed and do really well in this. And that's why, we were only going to do 10 originally of the Go Founder deals. Right, and I noticed that the 10 sold out instantly. They went within minutes of us putting the link up. And Robert didn't want me to do any more, did you?
Well, I had a goal. I had a goal which was the 10, so that we could do the training on a smaller scale.
Yeah,
and that 10 at that price was very low, very affordable.
Yeah,
there was different reasons, and. I first of all, I want to thank you for sharing that story, because, we're coming from a real place, both Stephen and I, and a frustration level of we don't want people to go through that anymore. We want them to be able to start a business. And, you may have right now wondering, well, it could have been done in 15 minutes, and they can be done in 15 minutes, but we want to teach you to fish, not give you a fish.
You need, when you go fishing, you need the rod, you need the bait, and you need to understand how to cast the line, right?
Right.
That's why we're doing the 5 easy steps. But over the coming weeks, and in the advanced group, when we open that up, there's going to be some great golden nuggets, little things like tips and tricks I do to help boost your business and help you focus. And that's why I want you guys to grow with us, and that's why I decided that the gardening site, that I've already got the domain name, and I used initially to do the demo build on it, but I haven't done any more with it, and I'm going to wipe it, blank it off completely, and start it again when we do the group. That's why I haven't done any sort of citations or promotion to it, because I want to start from scratch and set it up gradually, so then within a month, maybe a couple of months, we will start seeing. But the first month is really the build, maybe month and a half, and then after that, it's watching out for the organic leads coming in, and it's going to get super exciting. It really is. And like I said, I'm going to do calls during the day to get prospects on board, and when we get to that point with Lead Simplify, and I'm going to show you guys how I bring in customers on using Lead Simplify, and also getting customers on board if I was going to rent the site out.
I mean, it comes back to the training alone is worth 5 times the price. That's just.
But if you to book me directly, $500 a month, at 1495 now, which is the last slot, you're looking at 3 months of my mentoring to get to a point where you start understanding it. And that's the thing with this is giving you those light bulb moments, and that's what we want. We just want, and at the end of the day, we want everyone to, especially the Go founders who've gotten on a great deal, to turn around and go, here's a testimonial because I built a site that I couldn't do because I felt overwhelmed, or I didn't understand X fields, I didn't understand Magic Page plugin. Having a site done for you and having it set up, you can then go in and look at it and get a better understanding of what it's doing instead of guessing.
Here's Don. Don has been working with another part of our training, and I think he's commenting about the light bulb moments because we did some directory training, in which we won't even go into at this point. But when you are shown the things, again, you don't know what you don't know, and when you're shown them by someone, it's just a profound difference.
Yes.
So we're just trying to give you the updates of what's coming, what you're going to be in store for. We want you to get ready. It's just going to be phenomenal. I'm so excited for all of you as well. Stephen and I are going to continue making more of the Done For You Magic themes to grow with. And again, we're going to be doing this ourselves.
Super exciting, and what we're doing here for and that's why we did a super crazy deal. And so I've got a couple of comments come in one of the groups. I'm not sure because we're across a few groups. I'm not sure which group it's coming from, but Steve has said on their link to Go Founders. Well, reach out to me directly, Steve, because there's one slot. We're going to finish this in a couple of minutes, and I'm jumping on a call with somebody. So ping me a message as well. And if the person I'm jumping on a call with turns it down and you want it, then you can have it. All right. It's the last slot and that's it. 15 are sold out. You'll have to then wait for when we do the webinar with Mike Martin to get back in. And it's going to be, like I said, the Go Founders lifetime mentoring on the Inner Circle mentoring group isn't included on when we start selling this out. We want to do a super crazy deal for people who got on board with us early. And I've said this before, the money's safe. We're sitting it's sat in an account. I can't touch it for a minimum of 30 days. And we want to deliver the start of August to you. And we've made sure it's that way on purpose. That way then we're going to deliver. You're going to get what we promised you, and you're going to be able to follow the training. And the reason I've done it that way was there are so many people out there that sell these products, and you go, oh, I'm not happy, and with an IM product, and you never see your money again. We're not like that. We're here for the long haul. We want you to do well, and we're very passionate about you doing well.
No question. All right, Stephen, let's
we're going to let people go. Thank you so much, everyone, for hopping on, and we love talking to you guys. That's why we've been on an hour and 5 minutes. We started a bit later because with me, I've got 3 wonderful children at home, and I've got 3 grown-up children who moved out. And before I came out here tonight, I was doing bedtimes for them all, and and tucking them in and stuff like that. Life gets in the way. We wanted to start at 9, and sometimes it happens like that. Or, a few weeks back, I had a call from the school. My little boy bumped his head, and I took him to the hospital. And then a few weeks after that, the school called us and thought my little girl might have had COVID, and I had to take her that evening to a test centre. She hasn't; she's all clear. But the school takes precautions, and I had to delay other people's calls because of that. But the people I mentor and the people in the groups I've talked to are so fantastic, and they understand that, because we've all got family life that gets in the way, or a loved one is ill and we got to spend time with them. Everything always gets delayed, But the cool thing about this, the final thing I'll say, and then we're going to go. If something comes up during the training and you can't make it, or something major in your life happens, we're going to be doing the training again and again and again. So you can always come back in on the entry level a month or two down the line and carry on from where you left off. So don't worry if you're not going to miss anything. And we understand things get in the way.
The worst case is you just catch up. It's literally all of this can be done in a matter of a few hours. But we want to be able for you to take it slow, really slow, and step by step to get it done, and not feel so overwhelmed that it'll never get done.
Yes.
But literally, you can buy a domain name, set up the hosting, and install the website, not knowing anything in a 24-hour period. But we don't want to stress you out. We want you to figure it out, understand it, and take it that little bite at a time to get it done. And if we can move faster, we will. And we'll just take it from there. I'm going to say good night, and I appreciate all of you, and we'll talk to you very soon.
Take care, guys. Thank you for being on with us, and just keep watching these spaces. We're going to keep sharing with you all the time. And when we launch the product, then there will be the Inner Circle mentoring group that all the Go founders will have access to. So thank you for trusting and believing in us. And we are going to deliver for you, and we are going to look after you. And take care, guys, and we'll speak to you very soon.
Take care. Good night.